You can bet on many things now legally in a growing number of American states. In New Jersey, they have a prop bet as to who the first pick in the draft will be. And the two favorites are Kyler Murray and Nick Bosa, both at plus 110. That means if you bet 100, you win $110. Bosa was the favorite, but early money came in on Murray, and the line has shifted to make them co-favorites. Next, Quinnen Williams, the Alabama defensive tackle, 300-plus pounds, who ran a 4.83 second 40-yard dash. He is plus 450. Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins is 14-1. I would not make that bet. He was 0.2 of a second slower than Quinnen Williams in the 40. Not that the 40 really matters for quarterbacks. Tom Brady ran a 5.28. Look, I like that Nick Bosa came out and said that the Cardinals are making a mistake if they pass on me. And I would like to see the 49ers take Nick Bosa at number 2 so the Cardinals have to face him twice a year. I think that just makes for a good storyline, and it makes a rivalry that currently is blah into something that would be intriguing. But, look, quarterback it's easier to assess that you got a good quarterback than it is to assess that you got a good pass rusher. Yes. Unless that guy's Reggie White, he's not going to generate the kind of numbers that will get people to say, oh, now I know why you took him first overall.
You're exactly right. I mean, look at a guy we talked about earlier today, right? Jadeveon Clowney. I think most people go, oh, well, look at his stats. Look at his sacks. The production's not there. And I know you've heard this from me a lot, but he is one of those guys that the stats just don't tell the story. But either way, there is that perception out there that he didn't live up to the number 1 pick billing. And I get that, and I know what people are expecting is your number 1 pick, defensive end. They want to see double-digit sacks every year and all of that. But, man, there is more to football than just sacks. Jadeveon Clowney's phenomenal because he messes up so many plays all the time. Bosa, I mean, going into the combine and leading up to that, everyone had him pegged as the number 1 pick in the draft. I think it just speaks to, as people are just continuing to watch Kyler Murray in the NFL and, coaches are just diving into film, they're seeing it, you're seeing the tide turn and people realizing, whoa, wait, this Kyler Murray's not just some guy that runs around and plays backyard football. Everything else checks the box too. And like we talked about last week, it's just the size. That's the only thing that there's an issue with. Everything else is just phenomenal. And it's going to be a great discussion and debate between the two.
It is amazing that last year Baker Mayfield first emerged as the guy who would go number 1 overall just like 5 days before the draft, or even less than that. Yeah. And now Murray's already in that discussion. I really do think Mayfield's performance last year in Cleveland has gone a long way to legitimizing and to eliminating this idea that there is a minimum height requirement on being an NFL quarterback.
Definitely. I think, I think Drew Brees kind of got the water warm to where everyone's like, okay, smaller quarterbacks can work. And then we got Russell Wilson, and it was, okay, see there, look at Russell Wilson, but he's just a, once in a while type thing. And now we see a Baker Mayfield come in who's not as athletic as a Russell Wilson, where I think everyone, that was the final question. Okay, yeah, he's not real big, but he can't run like Russell Wilson, so how is that going to work? Well, you know how it worked? He danced around the pocket, and he can still see through lanes and make unbelievable throws that way. It doesn't matter. He's used to playing at 6 foot and has had enough reps that it doesn't affect him. And then here we are with Kyler Murray. So I think that take about, Baker Mayfield setting this up. If he doesn't knock it out of the park last year, I don't think there's any way we're talking about Kyler Murray as a top 5 pick. Maybe a top 15 or 20, but not top 5.
And think about that evolution. Drew Brees was not a first-round pick back in 2001. That was the year that Mike Vick was number 1 overall, and the Chargers actually traded out of that spot, got LaDainian Tomlinson, and picked up Drew Brees in the second round of the draft. And I look at Russell Wilson, 75th overall in 2012, taken behind Andrew Luck, RG3, Ryan Tannehill, Brandon Weeden, and Brock Osweiler, and 3 spots after the Jaguars took punter Brian Anger. So I think what Wilson has done, what Brees has done, and what Mayfield did last year as the first overall pick, that just takes it off the table. If you can play, that's all that matters. You don't have to be 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". If you can be a guy who gets it done like Murray is, fine, and they'll make it work, and I think that makes it even more likely. I'd say between him and Bosa, I just think it's going to be Murray, whether it's the Cardinals or whether they trade out of that spot. Somebody's going to be want to be the team that says, we got Kyler Murray in the event that he is the next in this line of Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, the next big thing who's going to be around for 15 years,
It
Chris.
certainly seems like it's shaking out that way. And the other thing that I think hurts Nick Bosa in this conversation is the crop of defensive pass rushers that are in the draft. So teams might go, oh, I want him, but I'll trade back and get a player that's maybe just slightly less.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.